Hello students, I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to discuss other research methods like survey method, observation method, correlation method and case study method. In the last class we have studied about experimental method in detail. So let's begin with the survey method. What is a survey method? Survey is nothing but you take the opinion from a large people or a group about any particular topic or an issue. Most of the companies take a survey regarding their products, so that is known as a survey method. Here are some of the steps in conducting a survey. So, first is asking a number of questions, and those questions are all related to the issues that a person wants to do a survey. For example, if any company wants to check why their product is not doing so well in the market, then they are going to make those questions related to that particular product itself. So, it should always be related to the problem. Questions should be related to the problem. Second is selecting a sample. Selecting a sample over here means selecting a participants who are going to take part in the survey. So those are known as a sample. For example, if that particular product or if any particular issue is only related to male or it is related to female, then those sample size or sample would be only related or limited to the male or the female, right? So that is known as selecting a sample. Third is administer the question to each sample, obviously. So there would be a administration taking place. Administration means testing takes place to each of the sample. Then analyze the responses of the sample. So we are going to check what the responses they have given, and accordingly we are going to draw the conclusions about their opinions, and on the basis of whatever opinions they have given, we are going to generalize it on the other population. So for example, if the consumer are saying that the product lacks in the quality or it does not meets the purpose, then on basis of their opinion, the company is going to do some changes in their products, and then they are going to generalize it to the overall population. So this is how the steps are there in conducting a survey. There are various modes of data collection. So like it is a direct administration to a group, there is a mail survey, there's a telephone survey, right now we also have an online survey, then there's a personal interviews as well. So we are going to see it quickly. Direct administration to a group is there are a group of people that are called and the questionnaires are passed to them. Questionnaires is basically a list of questions and the person has to select from the options given. So that is a questionnaire. So direct administration is done with a group of people. So over here example is given. Example would include giving questionnaire to the students to complete their classroom or the workers complete at their job settings. So if I want to do a survey in a classroom, so I will give a questionnaire to the students asking them what are their opinion about the online teaching, or whether they found online teaching or offline teaching, which one was more beneficial. So it is a kind of a survey I am doing in a closed setting with a group. So that is known as a group survey. Mail survey is a person sending the mail. So right now most of the researchers use a Google form for a mail survey. So they create a Google form online and then they send it via mail to the sample, and the participant participates in that survey and the response is again via mail. So this is known as a mail survey. Then telephone survey, of course it is on the call. So you can see we have a customer call services. wherein sometimes the company gives us a call asking how their product is or how their services is. So that is known as a telephone survey. In telephone survey, we can also include a online survey. Even in the mail, we can include the online survey. Sometimes when you are checking your feed like on Instagram or Facebook or anything, in between when you check, you find out that there is a kind of a ad that is pop up, and in which you will be asking ask that how that product is. So that time you give your opinion about that product. So even that is a online survey that is conducted by the company itself. Then the personal interview. This is kind of a face-to-face interview where a rapport is established, and then the person keeps on asking the question to the participant, and participant gives its response. But in general, face-to-face interview has been less used because it requires lots of time consuming, and even if someone is present in front of you, obviously you are going to give a opinion which is in the favor of that particular company or particular institute. So personal interview are not that much recommended for a survey method. Most of are online, so that their opinion is anonymous. Next, we move on to the second method, that is the observation method. Okay, so like you can see, these people over here are observing via binocular. Okay, so that kind of method in psychology is known as observation method, wherein the subject has been observed from a distance in a naturalistic setting, or the psychologists take part in that particular situation to understand the participant or the client in more detail. Okay, so we will see observation method in detail right now. So observation method is one of the method to collect the data, in which observation is done, the recording is done, the description is done, analysis and interpretation of people's behavior is done. There is a myth that people, psychologists can read the mind, but in reality, it is not as such that psychologists can read the mind. Psychologist observes the behavior of the person from the far distance, and that is where this observation method comes into place. Observation method is divided into two major types, that is participant observation and a structured observation. Participant observation is wherein the psychologist takes part, is an active member in that particular group, and he's doing a observation. Structured observation is more about like a laboratory setting, wherein he will observe the participant doing some kind of work. Okay, so this is known as two types of observation. Non-participant observation is also called as naturalistic observation. Over here in this photo, you are seeing a famous observational person, that is Jane Goodall. She's a researcher and she has done research on chimpanzees, and her researches were very famous when we come to the study of chimpanzee. So here in this photo you can see that naturalistic observation is done, where researchers can observe a subject in their real life environment. So what these chimpanzees are doing is far off, and Jane Goodall is just sitting over there and she's just observing whatever these chimps are doing. Okay, so this is known as a naturalistic observation. So it is not just related to animals, it can also be with the humans. For example, if I want to study a child who is not doing so well in the class, so I will just go into the classroom, I'm going to sit over there, I'm just going to observe a child, what he is doing in the class, whether he is fighting with friends or whether he is not paying attention and what are the reasons. So the person is observing from the far distance, so that is known as a naturalistic observation. So over here they have given a difference between participant observation and non-participant observation. Participant observation is again here the researcher is a part of the activity taking place. Non-participant observation is similar to naturalistic observation, where researcher does not become a part of the activity. He observes from the far distance. So here you can clearly see the difference between a participant and a non-participant or a naturalistic observation. Next, we move to the case study. Case study is all related to research methods, criteria, data, evidence, conclusion, knowledge. So, in case study, there is a one particular person, and you find out entire family history about that person. You find out about his education background, his medical background, and on the basis of all the history, you try to find out what could be the possible reason of the person's behavior. So that is known as a case study. In psychology, this is the one of the major research method used to understand a client in depth. This method can be is used by a psychiatrist, psychologist, and a counseling psychologist to understand a particular case of a client in much more detail. So over here they have mentioned the case study research method originated in a clinical medicine. In psychology, case study methods are often confined to the study of a particular individual. The information is mainly biographical and relates to the events in the individual's past, that is retrospective, as well as the significant events which are currently occurring in his or her everyday life. So it is a combination of both the past and the present scenario in his life, and on that basis they try to find out the particular solution for his behavior that is occurring. The case study is not itself a research method, but the researcher selects this method of data collection and analysis that will generate a material suitable for the case study. So we can say that it is not purely a research method, but it is more about data collecting and analysis. Data collecting means we are taking the data from a person's life and we are trying to find out what would be the possibilities. So that is the analysis we are going to do on that particular client. So this is what the case study method is, that you are collecting all the biographical details, all the history about the client, and you are trying to find out what is the reason behind his particular behavior. We can say the recent case of a Bollywood actor committing a suicide. Now, what they are doing over there is they are finding out what could be the possibility. So, they are taking all the family background history, all the recent history, and then they are finding why that particular person has committed a suicide. So, that is known as a case study. In your psychology textbook, there is one case given here, that is a classical case known as a case of Anna O. I want you to read that case of Anna O to understand the case study much in the detail. So it became more famous because of the Freud psychoanalysis. So Anna O was a girl who developed a habit wherein she was not able to consume any water or any kind of liquid. So, after hypnosis done by Freud, it was found out that Anna O had recently saw, she went to her neighbor's place or something, and there she saw a dog drinking water from a glass. And because she saw that particular incident, she developed a hatred towards drinking any kind of liquid or consuming any kind of water. So, that is how the case study works, wherein the Anna who had the problem of drinking water, consuming any liquid. So through case study, it was they were able to find out what was the problem behind her behavior. So I want you to read this activity 9 much more in detail to understand the case study. Here also there are various examples they have given about the case study, that is a patient suffering from phobia, a student suffering from dyslexia, a farmer who have attempted suicide, a successful young entrepreneur, a gold medalist athlete. So all this is what? All this is an example of a case study. So if I want to study a student who has a dyslexia, obviously I am going to take all his family history over here to understand why he has developed this dyslexia. If someone has a phobia for anything like a cockroach or a dog or any particular water phobia, then I'm again going to take a history of that person and understand that particular case much more in detail. The next method is a correlation method. Correlation method is very simple to understand. A relation over here means it is related to two or more variables. In the last class, I explained you what the variables are. Variables are anything that keeps on varying or keeps on changing. So correlation method over here tries to find out or measures the relationship between any two variables or two or more variables. Okay, so variables are divided into two, that is independent variable and a dependent variable. Independent variable would be the cause, whereas the dependent variable is the effect. So correlation method tries to find out the relationship between the cause and the effect. That is known as a correlation method. Correlation coefficient is a statistic that assesses how well you can predict one variable from the another. So correlation coefficient is a statistical term used to denote on a graph whether the particular correlation or whether the particular relationship is a positive, negative or zero. So that we are going to see ahead. So there are three types of correlation. First one is a positive correlation. When both the variables either increase or either decrease at the same time, then it is called as a positive correlation. The value of correlation is found between 0 to plus 1. So whenever there is a calculation done with that correlation, their value should be between 0 to plus 1. So positive correlation happens when one variable increases, the other also increases. If the one variable decreases, other also decreases. For example, rainy season and sale of umbrella or sale of the raincoat. So what will happen over here? Both will either increase or both will either decrease together. So over here they have explained positive correlation. Rise in the x variable also gives a rise to the y variable. Fall in the x variable gives a fall of y variable itself. Okay, so it would be exercise and losing body weight. So what is happening over here? It is a negative correlation over here, right? So we will see negative correlation ahead. So what happens over here in the negative correlation? It is the opposite of a positive correlation. So if one increases, the other decreases. The coefficient correlation over here lies between 0 to minus 1. So over here they have given the example, the amount of exercise and the level of body fats. So more you do the exercise, that is an increase, the lower the level of the body fat, that is a decrease. So what is happening over here? There is a negative correlation between these two variables, that is amount of exercise and level of body fats. So one increases, other decreases, other decreases, the one increases. There is a opposite relationship that is occurring over here, and that is why it is known as a negative correlation. I hope you are clear with both positive and negative. In positive correlation, both of them increases together or both of them decreases together. See over here, it increases together or it decreases together, whereas in negative, one increases, one decreases, or one decreases or one increases. Fine. The last correlation is a zero correlation. Just like a name suggests, there is a no or no significant change occurring in both the variables. Both are not related to each other. There is a no, not any kind of relationship occurring between them. So it is known as a zero correlation. The correlation coefficient value over here is zero. So, for example, the height and the intelligence. There is a no relationship between the term height or and intelligence. Is there? If someone who is a taller is more intelligent or less intelligent? No, it does not goes like that, right? So over here there is a zero correlation occurring. So that is why it is known as a zero correlation, no significance at all. So one increases, the other decreases, whatever, but there is a no significance, no relation between any of them. So with this said, I hope you are clear with all the four research methods that we have discussed in this presentation. First is one was survey. Survey method is all about the opinion. Second one was case study, wherein you take all the demographic details about the person. Third one was correlation coefficient method, wherein there is a relationship between variables. There are three types of them, that is positive, negative and zero. And the fourth one was observation method that we saw, wherein we found the two types of observation, participant and the non-participant observation. Non-participant observation is also known as a naturalistic observation. So you feel free to ask me any doubts if you have in the comment box or on WhatsApp. Thank you.